Welcome back to Views with Hughes or Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes. Today's story. We have here that Sauron has been race swapped. That's so far a rumor. Okay, so let's see what happening behind the scenes with Prime Video's adaptation of the Tolkien classic Lord of the Rings, which really isn't Lord of the Rings. It's simply Rings of Power, as I call it, or their version of it, trying to make it more modern and updated, as well as more relatable to the audience and everything. So what, and I'll also be discussing what do I think is happening behind the scenes, including with Jennifer Salke and everything, who's the front runner of approving all these different ideas and everything for the show. But before I begin, I want to let you all know I was out for a Christmas vacation with the family and all of that. Now I'm back to go ahead doing broadcasting again. So if you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash like button, share far wide across social media. Also, if you have any thoughts about this particular topic, why do you think it's happening? Or what are your thoughts about Sauron becoming a minority character in this show? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So now we see here something that's actually been, basically changed up based on something that a company doesn't necessarily have the full rights to. Okay, they only have a small portion of the whole franchise. They don't have that particular type of rights to it, only to basically the prologue of Lord of the Rings, the first of the Fellowship of the Ring. Okay, fact of the matter is they're trying to go ahead and trying to bring more into this over something that they don't necessarily have the rights to, because guess what? This is all taking place supposedly during, the prologue of it, and also events with Silmarillion, of course. But the fact of the matter is, it's been falling much on mainly deaf ears, because only 7% of the audience from first season of Rings of Power actually stuck around to the end. Okay. So with that being said, go ahead and get right into it. All right. So Amazon's Prime Video's adaptation of Tolkien's iconic Lord of the Rings series, which is Rings of Power, as I said, faced significant backlash and disappointment due to its first season. Now we're going to dive into the different criticisms and controversies surrounding the series itself, including issues related to casting choices, deviations from the source material, and the upcoming second season. Now, over a year has actually passed since the disastrous debut of The Rings of Power on Amazon Prime Video. Now, the series was widely perceived as a big flop in every sense, okay? It was anticipated by fans that the adaptation might not honor Tolkien's legacy, but the extent of its deviation from the source material was truly heartbreaking or disheartening. Okay, critics and viewers were left wondering how it would be received by the general public and the fan base altogether. Now, the first season of the series was met with overwhelming negative response because of the fact that we saw their attention. Okay, it was not because of things that they decided to go ahead and race swap it mainly, but it was mainly because of the fact that we saw their intentions. Okay, they're taking an IP that's a classic, okay, that's legendary, changing it up just so that way they can go ahead and make it more modernized. Not only that, but they also added some additional details or additional stories to it that's actually taking away from the uniqueness, the originality of the original story. All because of the fact that this company doesn't have the full rights to the IP itself. Now, as I stated, it was a mere, 37% of viewers stuck around watching the first episode continue to the end of the season. Furthermore, the audience response on the rating platforms such as Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, even Metacritic was harshly critical. Now, Amazon's reaction to the backlash was to actually remove as many views as possible and lock reviews on Prime Video, which intensified the negative sentiment. I reported on that last year, okay? Now, in a move that seemed to confirm that the studio had not learned from the backlash from before, rumors are emerging regarding the casting of Gavi Singh Chera to portray Sauron's original form. Okay, now just to give you all a bit of a brief history. Okay, Sauron, before he became Sauron, he was actually in Valinor, working under Aule, the Valar. Okay, the Valar Aule. Now, he was working alongside with others who are also the Maiar, including he who was to become Gandalf, and as well as he who was to become Sauron. Okay, he was working alongside them. Sauron started off as a Maiar, okay, but then he started becoming more influenced by Morgoth, who was another Valar, okay. Morgoth actually took him in under his wing and everything, making him the lead lieutenant of his army, of his kingdom, if you will. All right. And the fact of the matter is, this second season, they're looking to show Sauron as the Maiar that he was before in a series of flashbacks. Okay. Now, they're planning to show Sauron in his original form, or as they call it, in his angelic form. Okay. Now, the casting decision was met with a lot of skepticism and concern among fans. Now, while Cheryl's character was believed to be Sauron in his early angelic and ethereal form, there was uncertainty regarding whether this character was Anatar. Okay, which is the name that based on the character that Sauron tried to become or disguise himself as another elf. But the thing is, back in season 1, they had Halbrand there to make the to show them how to forge rings, not Anatar. So you all see how this is crazy, you know. How are they going to go ahead and bring about Anatar, who in the books originally was one there who was showing them how to make the rings? But in the first season, they showed Halbrand, who they had revealed to be Sauron in the first season, to show them how to be able to make rings. Doesn't make sense, right? Now, like I said, there was uncertainty regarding whether this character was Anatar, the gods of Sauron, assumed during the Second Age. Now, the rights to the character aren't clear because of the simple fact that, you know, they don't really have the rights to the character itself. But it's also adding to the confusion surrounding the casting, okay? Now, season 2 of Rings of Power is expected to focus on forging of the Rings of Power in Celebrimbor's Tower, which Sauron distributing them to different races. However, it remains unconfirmed which form of Sauron would be involved in this process. I guarantee you that they actually tight-lipped on this time. Now, the second season promised scenes of Sauron in battle and interactions with other key characters. Now, the controversy extended to the interpretation of Tolkien's works, and some argue that Tolkien did not provide a physical description of Sauron's original form, or the appearance of the Maiar, the ethereal race to which Sauron belonged, as I stated earlier in this video. Now, Tolkien did mention the ability to shape-shift, leaving room for creative interpretation. Now, just to give y'all a bit of another brief insight into this. Sauron was able to shapeshift. That was basically one of his main powers. He was able to shapeshift into a vampire. He was able to shapeshift into a werewolf. He was also able to shapeshift into different things. All right. Now, just to let y'all know, during the Second Age, over in not Valinor, but in the Second Age, he went on ahead and he was on the island, you know, the star-shaped island. I forgot the name of it, but the fact of the matter is he was there doing Numenor. That's what it was, Numenor. He was on Numenor in the Second Age, where he was actually taking over the island through the king and everything, trying to go ahead and have them to worship Morgoth, as well as providing human sacrifices. Okay. Eru Iluvatar, who is basically in the Tolkien verses of the Silmarillion's version of God, okay? He's the one that destroyed the island of Numenor based on the prayers of those over in Valinor, okay? Because of the fact that there was men going on to the island of Valinor when men are not supposed to go onto the island. They're prohibited from going there, okay? But the fact of the matter is that this show is already messing up. It's been messing up because of the fact that it has its own interpretation of what Tolkien put out there, rather than putting out there what Tolkien has already created. But the simple fact of the matter is they don't have the rights to it. Okay? So continuing on, one of the contentious points of the potential race swapping of Sauron's character If Chera ended up portraying Sauron in his Anatoll form, this would be considered a race swap, as Sauron's transformation involves taking on a fair, white-skinned appearance. Okay? Now, the controversy surrounding Amazon's adaptation of The Rings of Power highlight the challenges of bringing beloved literary works to the screen while staying true to the source material itself. Now, the casting choices, deviations from Tolkien's writings, and uncertainties about character portrayals have actually fueled discussions and debates among fans. Now, as the second season approaches, the series continues to be a topic of contention in the world of fantasy adaptations. Okay? Now, let's try to go ahead and process this a bit. You mean to tell me that a company trying to go ahead and provide input of what they believe to be what Tolkien wanted, all right? But here's the thing. Jennifer Salke needs to be removed from this project immediately, okay? Because there's some successful shows on Prime Video such as The Boys and Reacher, all right? But this show right here, I mean, they already had a plan for 5 seasons and everything. This show, it's not going to, I guarantee you, second season, season 2 is not going to make do well with its ratings, its viewership, so on and so forth, okay? And don't even think about merchandising, because of the simple fact that when fans realize that what it is, like when it says Rings of Power on it, they're not going to buy the merchandising. Okay, they're not going to buy the merchandise that's being put out there. They're also not going to be able to stick around and tune into it, because I guarantee you that it's going to be a much bigger flop than the season 1. Okay, and they also got new different showrunners to go ahead and create the show itself. All right, so let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include details in the video where I went wrong, and also make sure you provide any kind of correction in the comments below about the show itself. What do you think? Matter of fact, how many views do you think that this show is going to get? Okay, let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Also, let me know if you think it's going to be successful. And also, be sure to include any clear insight about where they went wrong as far as with the legendary Tolkien work. Because guess what? They don't have the full rights to it. Okay, they don't even have the rights to the second age of it itself. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, share far wide across social media. And if you have done so and you enjoyed all the content out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.